Welcome and thank you for watching my videos. In this one I'm sharing with you one of the ways to achieve basic conditioning. Each superset contains one stretching and one conditioning exercise. In the first superset we are lengthening the superficial front arm lines from sternum to fingertips using the Swiss ball. And in the second, so you hold the first stretch for 30 seconds. Also, that applies to the second stretch, which lengthens the deep front arm lines another 30 seconds. The only difference is that you have your palms facing down. The fingertips are pointing back. The same position on the Swiss ball. You can't see the Swiss ball here, but I have a Swiss ball pushing against my thoracic spine. Now, immediately follow up with a push-up. I choose to use two medicine balls and a Swiss ball, but you choose a form of push-up that suits your conditioning. Do anything between 8 and 12 repetitions. In this one I did 12 repetitions. Maintain neutral spinal alignment, hold your head in neutral position. When you lower yourself down, do it actively by reaching out with the tip of your elbows. This holds your shoulder joints nicely centered. You want to get the movement from the elbow joints, then the shoulder joints, and right at the end you would like to have your shoulder blades moving gently towards the spine, but not from the beginning of the push-up. Keep engaging the core muscles by drawing your belly button in, and focus on your breathing, exhaling once you pass the sticking point as you're pushing up. Now the next superset is for the lower body. We are lengthening the inner thigh muscles, the adductors, with the frog stretch. You've got to, I choose in this case to do abduction, hip flexion and external rotation. So keep shifting your weight back, pushing the knees out, engaging the gluteus medius and maximus, gently pushing your inner heels down and pulling your toes up towards your knees. Hold the spine in a neutral position again, or as close to as possible, and then follow up immediately with a sumo style deadlift or a squat, whatever you want to call it. It's more like a squat, parallel squat. I use kettlebells. The idea here is to have your gluteal muscles work harder than your quadriceps and hamstrings and lower back muscles. So fine-tune the position of your feet and the position of your upper body, the angle of hip flexion, so you can again get the gluteus medius and minimus, gluteus medius and maximus to do most of the work, and quadriceps and hamstrings and back muscles to help and not to be the primary muscles. Again, watch your spinal alignment, breathing, scapular stabilization, etc. Basic principles. So do 8 to 12 repetitions again. I don't use really heavy weight because I find that when I use really heavy weight I overuse my quadriceps. So to use the gluteal muscles as the dominant muscle with this exercise, I have limits. You don't need to go to muscle failure necessarily. The next superset is again for the upper body. We are lengthening one of the internal shoulder rotators, which is the subscapularis, one of the shoulder rotator cuff muscles, with the stick. The stick is behind your arm, pressing against your rear shoulder and coming down and across the body, and you're holding it with the opposite hand. In this case the right fist is about a fist away from the shoulder, and wrap your fingers nicely around the stick. With this exercise, the best way to do it is to focus on moving the shoulder blade and the rib cage on each other and not on rotating the upper arm. Reach out with the tip of the elbow. Immediately, once you do the left and the right, of course, go on a pull-up bar. And now I'm going to make a very important point here. I don't go all the way up simply because I cannot maintain a nice external shoulder rotation if I go all the way up. So the point here is I stop just before I lose my external shoulder rotators. So I use my external shoulder rotators, and I do not let my shoulders and humerus, upper arms, rotate internally. See all the exercises here done with precise form to improve muscle balance, posture and function. The last superset, again we're going back to the lower body, is I am lengthening my not just the hip flexors and quadriceps, but also two of the adductors, the adductor longus and brevis. So you see I have my knees wider than hip width apart, shoulder width apart. I'm showing you that I squeeze and engage my gluteus medius and maximus. So my gluteal muscles really fired up, engaged. My abdominals are engaged. Gentle thoracic extension, and I follow up immediately with a lunge. With this lunge, I get my feet wider than hip width. They're actually shoulder width apart. Keep fine tuning the distance between your feet, and also the how much you lean forward with the upper body. Gentle lean forward helps to emphasize the gluteal function, specifically on the leading leg. Engage the core musculature to connect the to integrate the lower and the upper body, so they work as one. So this is the ultimate one of the ways to basically condition your body with excellent exercises, improve posture, function, strength, activation, and overall well-being.